Welcome back to section 10.3. The last thing we're going to look at, I promise, in this section is circles. So, circles. All the points on a circle are exactly the same distance from the center of the circle. And that distance away from the center is called the radius. So if you have that center, we're just going to give it an H and a K. For some weird reason, somebody has decided H and K are just really cool letters, and that is what they use for the center of circles. Then what you can do is any point. So we're just going to call a point on the circle XY. We're just going to give it like a nice little XY coordinate. And the center of the circle, I said we're going to call it HK is the coordinates there. And that distance is always the same, right? So we know that distance, well, we'll just say the distance formula here. Distance is, we'll do x minus h squared. So that's x1 minus x2, or x2 minus x1, however you want to do that, plus the difference in our y coordinate, so that would be y minus k squared. Now to undo the squaring part, we're just going to square root both sides, or square both sides to undo the square root. So basically, distance squared equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. And that distance is always the radius, so we can just say radius squared equals this x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. That's where this general formula or format comes from. And for whatever reason, they often put the radius on the other side, but it doesn't really matter which side they put it on. But that's the general format for a circle equation. So, example 5 says, find an equation of a circle that has a center at 3, -2, and has a radius of 3, and we're going to graph it, so that should be a good time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our graph paper ready. Let's put that on top. So the general format for those circle equations was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So for us, the x coordinate of the center, that h value is 3. And the k value would be the y coordinate of the center, which is -2. And then the radius, they told us it is 3. So plugging in all of those things to make an equation specific for our circle, we will have x minus h, so x minus 3 squared, plus, we're going to have y minus k, so it'll be y minus a -2. Well, minus a negative is the same thing as adding a positive, so that'll be y plus 2 squared to be a little more simplified, equals r squared, so we're going to square 3. 3 squared is 9. And that is what the equation of our circle will look like. If I want to graph it, it's not too terrible. We're going to start with our center. The center is at 3, -2. All right, and our radius is 3, so probably the easiest way is just to go horizontally and vertically each direction 3 away, okay? So I'm going to go right 3 and left 3. I'm going to go up 3 and down 3. And I'm going to connect the dots, and I'm not going to make a square or a diamond shape. I'm going to make a nice curve because I know it's a circle. So try to curve them a little bit if you can. And we'll make a nice little circle that way. Okay? All right, example 6 gives us the equation, and we get to graph it. So the equation in part 6 is x plus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 25. All right, so from here, we need to get our information out of it. So remember, it's always x minus h squared. So it has a plus 3. That h value is actually not going to be positive 3. It's going to be -3 because of the minus and negative being the same as plus and positive. It'll basically be exactly the opposite sign of what you see here. For the k value, that's the y coordinate of our center, it's not going to be positive 5, it'll be -5. It'll be the opposite, again, of what you see here. So that tells me that the center of my circle is at the point -3, -5. Then r squared equals 25, right? So if r squared is 25, I'll just take the square root of 25 to find my radius, and my radius is 5. So there's the information that I can get out of that equation. I can find the center, and I can find the radius, okay? So once I have that information, we can graph it. So the center was at -3, -5, down here, and the radius was 5. So from the center, I'm just going to go 5 away in all directions. So to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up 5 and down 5. And then when I connect my dots, again, I'm not going to make straight lines and make a diamond or anything like that. I'm going to make nice curved lines and make a circle, because I know that's the shape that we are graphing. Okay? So there you go. That's how you graph a circle from an equation. Now it is your all's turn. You get to try one and show me how much you've learned.